Example 10. In example 10, I'm going to show you how to integrate tangent to the fourth power of x dx. This problem doesn't look that difficult, but it can be a little tricky unless you know the tricks for the integration. So first, in an earlier video, I stated that if this is to the power of something greater than 2, it's helpful to break it up because usually you cannot u sub it. So I'm going to write this as the integral of tangent squared of x times tangent squared of x dx. And now what I need is a trig identity in order for me to do some simplifying. So I know that we have a trig identity that says tangent squared of x plus 1 is equal to secant squared of x. So I want tangent squared by itself, so I have tangent squared of x is equal to secant squared of x minus 1. So I can rewrite this as the integral of tangent squared of x times secant squared of x minus 1 dx. So still I don't really have a u sub that I can see, so I'm going to play with this integral and do a little bit of simplifying. So I distribute the tangent, and I get tangent squared x secant squared x minus tangent squared x dx. Now from here I start noticing some things. I notice that, well, on this piece right here I have tangent and this I have secant squared, so I know I can do a derivative and a u sub there. Here I don't know how to integrate tangent squared, but I have an identity that'll help me simplify. So I'm going to do a little bit rewriting. I'm going to separate this one more time to the integral of tangent squared x secant squared x minus secant squared x minus 1 dx. I'm going to distribute that negative. So I'm going to get minus secant squared x plus 1 dx. And I'm going to use an integral property that allows me to write each integral separately. So this is going to be the integral of tangent squared x secant squared x minus the integral of secant squared x plus the integral of 1. And each of these should have a dx next to them. So from here, I'm going to work out each integral separately. So I'm going to work with this one now. And for this one, I'm going to let u equal tangent of x. So du is going to be secant squared x dx. So I'm going to do this integral out in green. And I'm going to get this is going to be equal to the integral of u dx. I'm sorry, u squared dx, because it was tangent squared. And I'll do the next integral in red. Minus, well, I know the integral right away of secant squared is tangent, but for now I'm just going to write all my integrals. I'm going to do all my integrating in one step. So secant squared x dx plus the integral of 1 dx. So if I integrate u squared, I'm going to get u cubed over 3 dx, or no more dx, u cubed over 3 minus tangent of x plus x, and then finally a plus c at the end. But before I'm done, I need to u sub my tangent back, so I'm going to get my final answer is 1/3 tangent cubed of x minus tangent of x plus c. And that's how you integrate tangent to the fourth.